Hey, welcome everyone. I'm Ted Erhart. There's an article in the Wall Street Journal this week talking about a very important planning topic that, frankly, the tax profession and the financial planning profession are trying to get their arms around. What does all this really mean? What's going to play out with this? So we're specifically talking about a law change in 2019 that was part of a big bill passed, which was known as the Secure Act, and that specifically changed the rules around inherited retirement accounts for non-spouse beneficiaries. Ooh, that's a mouthful. So in a classic situation, let's just say, I want to try to narrow this down to help people understand. Let's say you inherit a retirement account from your parents. And let's assume this retirement account was a pre-tax individual retirement account, IRA. Under the previous rules prior to 2019, if you inherited a pre-tax IRA, you would have to take annual distributions known as required minimum distributions, but you could stretch those out over your life expectancy. You know, if you're in your 80s, well, that doesn't sound that great, but if you inherited one of these accounts in your 30s, well, you know, hopefully you would assume you have a long runway ahead of you, and these rules were very accommodative to that. You could take little distributions for the rest of your life. But in 2019, the Secure Act changed all this. The Secure Act compressed that window of time. So again, let's say you're 30 years old and your last surviving parent dies and you inherit a pre-tax retirement account from them. Well, under the new rules, you would have 10 years to withdraw all those dollars and pay the income tax. But here's where it's confusing. Right now, there's a lot of uncertainty about what's going to happen. This rule was initially interpreted as you had the option to spread out the withdrawals over a 10-year period, or even just take all the dollars out in year 10. You had flexibility there. However, the IRS issued guidance earlier this year saying, no. If you inherit a retirement account from someone who was already taking required minimum distributions, so say they were in their mid-70s or older, well then in that case you would have to take required minimum distributions between years 1 and 10, and if there was any remaining balance, you would have to draw that out by the end of year 10. So in other words, there would be no option if you inherited that account from someone who was already taking required minimum distributions. But in contrast, apparently, the way the guidance was written, if you inherited a pre-tax retirement account, or any retirement account, I guess, from someone who was under that required minimum distribution age, well, in that case, apparently, you could wait until year 10. So it's just a total mess right now, and the IRS is apparently taking public comment on this because, you know, there's a lot of folks who inherited retirement accounts in, say, 2020 and 2021, and they did not take any withdrawals because they were under the impression that you could wait until year 10. So right now, under the guidance that was provided by the IRS, that would trigger a penalty given what they said earlier this year. So this is a moving target right now. This article really kind of put this on my radar, and I wanted to put it on yours. So we're going to hopefully get some guidance from the IRS by year end to clarify what the rules actually are. But if you've inherited an IRA specifically over the last 2 years, this is something you're going to want to be aware of for planning purposes, just in case they stick with what seems to be not a very poor public policy. But we'll see what happens with it. So anyway, this one's pretty technical. If you got questions about it, please feel free to reach out. This is why we're here. This is why we're in business. And look, make sure you subscribe if you're on YouTube for more videos like this in the future. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next one.